That's rush hour. I got here in 10 minutes, Sean. We're talking about Midtown Manhattan. We're talking about the city that was known for business and bustling and suits. And here we are almost 6 years later after 2019, okay? 6 years later. And I don't recognize my city. Brother, not even those buildings collapsing on that day have had the impact that 2019 and 2020 have had on this city.
Damn.
It is not that. I don't care what you tourists think. I was in Midtown Manhattan last night, and it was a ghost town. Okay, it's quiet. I know it may seem busier to people that are from the outside and maybe don't come from a major metropolitan area. A lot of New Yorkers, I'm pretty sure you can see that there's something wrong. It's not the New York we knew. We're missing 100 million tourists. We're missing all the people in the suits and the business people. And I know a lot of that has changed because we are in the middle of a major crossroad for humanity, right? With AI, jobs being replaced, remote workplace. Midtown Manhattan was the heart of commercial real estate on earth, right? And today, a lot of those buildings are empty, brother. You have landlords converting these buildings into ghost kitchens. They're trying to find creative ways or converting them into residential buildings. So everything has changed. So to me, it's crazy how something like September 11th couldn't change the dynamic of New York. But what happened in 2019 and 2020 definitely shifted not just the trajectory of New York, but all of humanity. And the world has never been the same since they closed this down. Today, though, what I wanted to talk about is we live in a time of ignorance. And what we are really fighting, and what I think that you're fighting also, and every single content creator and podcaster, and anyone that's out there trying to protect free speech, trying to protect, the right to discuss and debate. And for the most part, Spotify has been, in my opinion, on the right side of history. When they signed Joe Rogan, when he was, at the crossroads of his career as a podcaster, I was so happy that they kept him on the air.
Yeah,
and helped
while he was getting canceled too.
While he was being shut down. So I'd like to give a special kudos to Spotify, but the battle's not over. And free speech is still in danger. And as someone that was born here as a first-generation American, my family escaped the darkness of communism from Albania under the Hoxha regime. And my father escaped Kosovo, which was under military occupation from Serbia, also known as the former Yugoslavia, to see what it means to not be able to speak freely, to fear for your life. We cannot have any infringement on the First Amendment. Period. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I'm not left or right. Everybody tries to, oh, he's left, oh, he's right. No. I think if you're calling yourself one or the other, you are the problem. Okay? These issues affect all of us equally. And I may not like what you have to say, but in this country, if we stifle one side and not the other, or vice versa, it's only a matter of time before one or the other gets affected.
Right.
We live in such a galvanized time, right? Everyone's all gaslit and angry and fighting, and people are trying to justify conflicts. Right now, we have never seen in recent history, in my opinion, maybe Vietnam era kind of got close to this, but the type of galvanization we have in America right now, the politics, the lines that have been drawn, the amount of people that are angry. First of all, I think if you're stuck in one party or the other, you're a part of the problem. We need to really look at what's going on in our country and put our differences aside right now. Even the Chinese, when they were fighting Mao Zedong versus Chiang Kai-shek for control of China, mainland China, when the Japanese invaded and started killing all of them, they were like, hey, let's put our war aside for a second between each other. Let's unite and let's push the foreign enemy out. And then they went back to war, and in my opinion, unfortunately, Mao Zedong won, and China became communist. But at that time, when it was crucial, they put their differences aside. This is a time that we live in where we cannot afford to be divided. I understand we have differences of opinion. I'm a very spiritual man. I don't agree with certain lifestyles. Also, as an American, respect their choice to have it. It doesn't mean I agree with it. All we need to learn is how to live and let live. You mind your business. Private matters should be private. What you do in your bedroom is not my business.